Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for KREM 2 News. First at 4, I'm Cody Proctor. Whitney and Mark are off tonight. TSA is anticipating a busy holiday season, kicking off with about 2 million passengers traveling nationally per day until Thanksgiving Day. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley joining us now live from the Spokane International Airport tonight. And Amanda, what should people expect if they're traveling this week?
Well, Cody, right now TSA says we are in the middle of the busiest travel days for the upcoming holiday. So in anticipation of this surge of passengers, TSA and the Spokane International Airport are taking steps to prepare. Now, according to TSA, between now and Thanksgiving, it expects the busiest times for security checkpoints to be from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 2 to 4 p.m. And that is why it is highly recommended that travelers arrive at the airport at least 90 minutes before their flight boards to get through the screening checkout process. Now, most flights board about 30 to 45 minutes before their scheduled departure time. Now, today I talked to a woman who is flying back home to Grand Rapids, and she booked a flight outside of these peak travel times, which is why she won't have much trouble getting through the airport.
Like an hour early is generally, and I board like last usually, so an hour is enough time.
Now, despite the expected increase in travelers at peak hours, TSA says it has enough staff on hand to ensure the most efficient screening for all passengers. In fact, TSA reported today 93% of its employees are following the vaccine and exemption requirements. Now, also a hack if you are flying for the holidays, the free My TSA app is a great resource for any last-minute questions you might have of, can I bring this? Should I put it in my checked bag? Or can I carry it on with me? My favorite feature is getting that estimated time for how long I'm going to be waiting in that security screening checkout. Reporting from the Spokane International Airport, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you so much. And of course, along with those hacks and on top of these preparations, the Spokane Airport is also working to make parking a little easier this week. The airport reopened their economy and C concourse parking lots for daily use. Spokane Airport officials recommend getting to the airport at least 90 minutes before a flight to get through TSA. Also, a reminder, air travelers need to wear their masks at all times while in the airport and on their flights. A school bus flipped over this morning after a stolen car crashed to it in the Otis Orchards area in the valley. According to Spokane County Sheriff's Corporal Mark Gregory, the bus driver had just finished dropping off kids and was on his way back to the school when a BMW hit and flipped the bus on its side. No children were inside the bus. Authorities believe the car was stolen and the driver of the BMW ran from the scene. The bus driver was taken to the hospital. The crash took place near the intersection of North Kenny Road and East Wellesley Avenue. That intersection is expected to be closed for a few hours while the sheriff's office investigates. You might have noticed a lot of fog across our area today. I know I did. The National Weather Service of Spokane tweeted out these reminders. They say it's a good idea to give yourself extra time and space when it's foggy like those conditions that we saw. Going slow can also help you with the low visibility and slick spots on the road. And Thomas, do you think there will be more foggy mornings in store for us this week?
Foggy mornings, some of that fog just never let up all day today. In fact, I've been watching a lot of cameras, especially around Airway Heights and the Spokane area, and that fog has been kind of meandering, but has been stuck in place. In fact, this is the current scene at Riverfront Park. There is supposed to be the pavilion here somewhere. This fog got really intense between about 3 and 3:15, and it has not let up. By the way, out at Airway Heights, it's 31 degrees, so this would actually be a freezing fog, to that point where if your idle car is collecting that moisture, you'd actually have to scrape it off before you even hit the roads because it would just collect as frost instead of just moisture. This is kind of one of the latest looks out at the Geiger Boulevard area. It's really that Airway Heights down into downtown, but here in our outdoor weather center in the South Hill, clear skies. It's no problem here. So this is obviously very patchy overall. Half-mile visibility reported out at Spokane, trying to drift into Coeur d'Alene. 0 visibility in Sandpoint. So that's less than 400 feet at maximum. So obviously the areas that are seeing fog are seeing some very heavy and very thick fog as of this moment. It's not the only thing that we're tracking for tonight either. There's going to be some snowfall over North Idaho, and there are winter weather advisories in effect for tomorrow morning. So we're covering how long that fog is going to last and how much snow these areas are going to see through the overnight hours. A busy forecast you're not going to want to miss in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Thomas. We'll check back with you again soon. Today, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare moved the entire state out of crisis standards of care, except North Idaho. The Panhandle Health District, which covers the state's 5 northern counties, remains under those crisis standards of care as hospitals continue to deal with a surge in patients. Dr. John Souza, the chief of staff at St. Luke's in Boise, says this isn't mission accomplished as many systems are still in contingency standards of care. But in North Idaho, case numbers haven't come down enough to move out of crisis standards of care. According to Health and Welfare Director Dave Jepson, it really depends on those case numbers to get out of the crisis standards of care.
It'll depend on the conditions on the ground and what's actually happening there, particularly with the main health system there of Kootenai Health. What we know today is that the numbers in North Idaho are headed the right direction, meaning that testing positivity or the percent of tests given that show a positive result for COVID are declining in North Idaho.
Health leaders say hospitals in other parts of the state have been able to offer non-emergency surgeries again. They also ask people to be safe while gathering during upcoming holidays. Coming up at 5 and 6, we'll have more on the COVID-19 situation in North Idaho and what Kootenai Health says is happening at its hospital. Well, this is the first full week of Americans now being eligible for a COVID-19 booster shot. People 18 and older are eligible for Pfizer's or Moderna's booster shot 6 months after they become fully vaccinated. Those that got the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine are eligible 2 months after being fully vaccinated. Now, as we approach the holiday season, health officials are urging people to get vaccinated and get the booster shot. In the meantime, it's still unclear how often people who are fully vaccinated against coronavirus must need boosters in the future, whether that's every 6 months, yearly, or not at all. Dr. Anthony Fauci says researchers are monitoring it closely.
We would hope, and this is something that we're looking at very carefully, that third shot with the mRNA not only boosts you way up, but increases the durability so that you will not necessarily need it every 6 months or a year. We're hoping it pushes it out more.
Meanwhile, new data reveals just over 17 million fully vaccinated seniors have received a COVID booster shot. This is concerning to some public health officials because 40 million people ages 65 and older have been fully vaccinated for at least 6 months now. Well, when you sit down to Thanksgiving dinner this year, know that other families are also enjoying a meal because of the generosity of the Inland Northwest. We're already seeing donations come in for Tom's Turkey Drive, and we want to say thank you. A $20 donation buys a family in need a Thanksgiving dinner. And those dinners include half a gallon of milk, one of the most sought after items at local food banks. We can provide that milk because of the Washington dairy farmers and Dairy Gold.
Dairy Gold. You know, those are local farmers, local ranchers with these cows. It's not like it's, you know, some national company coming from the Midwest or back east or something. They got a hold of us and said, hey, we want to be part of this, and we want to give you 11,000 half gallons of milk. And they've done it year after year after year after year. They're just, you know, amazing. And that has been a really wonderful thing for me, is to meet these families that run these farms. And they're just people, you know, who just happen to get up at 3 in the morning and go out there and go to work until dinner at 6. It's really, you know, that's been one of the nice things, is to meet the local farmers that grow our food or bake our bread and just create these fabulous relationships with them. It's been wonderful for me.